What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Venom series Typhoid Mary. Here we do have Typhoid Mary in the packaging. What we're going to do now is take a little break, get her opened up, and then have a better look at the figure inside, so stay tuned, everyone. And so here we have Typhoid Mary posed and out of the packaging. Before we have a look at the figure, let's take a look at what she comes with. Typhoid Mary does come with the left leg of the Monster Venom Build-A-Figure, which we'll have a look at when he's all put together. Moving on to Typhoid Mary here, she does come with two accessories. She does come with a katana, which looks really nice. It's the same katana we saw with Psylocke, and she also gets a flaming effect for the katana. Again, they're accessories we've seen before, but it actually works with Typhoid Mary, and I really do like that. So overall, really like what she comes with. I kind of wish she also came with alternate hands so we can have style pose hands and her holding the sword in either hand. But other than that, nothing else. Would have liked more accessories, but I still like what we have here. So what we're going to do now is take a closer look at Typhoid Mary. And so here we have a closer look at Typhoid Mary, and I have to say, I'm actually impressed with this face sculpt. It's not generic by any means. It actually has a unique feel to it. I know Hasbro has this tendency to make all their female faces seem a little bit generic, but Typhoid Mary here actually stands out. I don't know if it's the paint job on her or if it's just the sculpt itself, but she looks really nice and I do like it. You can see her eyebrows are nicely painted, and she does have makeup around her eyes, which I've heard it's a running change. The original first issue, Typhoid Mary didn't have makeup, but I can't confirm or deny that. But I'd still like the makeup here, and you can see her lips are painted really nice crimson red, and that really does stand out on the white half of her face. You can see her hair is draped over one side here. And I just love the 80s feel that this figure has. Even though it's not her 80s costume, it still has an 80s punk rock feel to it. You can see her hair does come down really nicely. Moving on to her jacket, I really love these shoulder pads. However, the shoulder pads are actually attached to her torso, so they do hinder articulation just a little bit. You can see when you lift her arm up, we do butt up against that, but it's nothing too bad. You can see she is wearing a choker, which is painted fairly well. There are some areas that could be better, but overall it's a nice little detail. You can see her top right here is nicely sculpted. Although I do have issues with it in terms of articulation, but as it is, the way it looks, I actually do like what she's wearing. It's not her traditional costume that she wears in the comic. This is a more child-friendly, I guess I would say, but she doesn't really dress like this in the comics too much, but it is something worth noting that she does wear it at one point. The arms, we have seen these arms before on the Jessica Jones from the, was it the Defender series, the Marvel Knight series, so that's something we've seen. She has one fist hand, and then one hand for holding her sword. Going on to her waist, you can see she is wearing this really nice belt. You can see it's painted really well. I do like that. All the belt loops are painted well. You can see this texturing and detailing on her jeans, so really glad we got that. However, when it gets to her right leg, it's just cast in plastic. There's no texture on it. Like, you can see seam lines on her waist, but when you get to her legs, it's just flat plastic, and I'm really not a fan of that. I really would have wished that they actually textured that, because it would have been a lot nicer. And then we have her boot cuff, which I don't know if it's supposed to be right there or up higher, but I haven't figured that out yet, not on this leg anyway. On her left leg, she is wearing fishnet stockings, and you can see they are torn, or at least painted so that they look torn. It's all painted, there's no sculpting on it, so that's, again, a little bit of a bummer. And then we have that really thick seam line that goes on the back, which is normal on tights like that. And then we have her boot, which I'm guessing should be like this, because if you move it down, That doesn't seem to look right, but moving it up, they did paint her ankle up until about that point, so I'm guessing her boots are supposed to be like this. And then generic feet that we've seen, nothing too special on her boots, but overall I still love the way this figure came out. So what we're going to do now is actually compare it to a few other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have Typhoid Mary posed next to a DC Multiverse Superman and a Marvel Legends Cyclops. Here we have Typhoid Mary posed next to a DC Multiverse Jessica Cruz and a Marvel Legends Infinity War Black Widow. And finally, here we have Typhoid Mary posed next to a Marvel Legends Daredevil and a Marvel Legends Bullseye. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually take a look at Mary's articulation. Now, as you would expect, her hair is limiting her articulation in her head. We do get some swivel left and right, but it does go off at an angle just because of her hair. We do get some head pivot, so I do like that. It's not the best, but it's a little bit. And again, swivel here. She does have a hinge in the neck, which she can bury her head down. She can't really look up because of her hair, and that's about as high as you're going to go. Arms are on a ball joint, go out to about that far. They would do a full 360, but they are hindered by the jacket, so be aware of that. She doesn't have a bicep swivel, but she does have a single bend in the elbow, and then she also does swivel there. She has a hinge in the wrist, which does go back and forward, and of course rotation. And then here we do have a little bit of a hindrance. She can go back on that ball joint, but she can't really go forward, so we do get some back movement, very little forward movement, and of course rotation on that joint. Nothing on the waist, but we do have ball joints in the legs, which she can kick up about that far, go back about that far, go out, pretty weak in my opinion. Rotation in the leg, up here at the thigh, double bend in the knee. No boot rotation, but we do get an ankle hinge which goes back and forward, and then forward facing pin for rocker ankle. So overall, articulation that we've come to expect from Hasbro. Still a really nice figure. So what we're going to do now is take a little break, get a pose for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have Typhoid Mary posed for my final thoughts, and overall I really do like the way this figure came out. I love the double face on her, and I love the katana and the flame effect. However, I do feel that she is missing some alternate hands. Something other than a fist probably would have worked better, just so we can get some style pose in there. But other than that, I still think Typhoid Mary here is a really nice figure. If you are lucky enough to find Typhoid Mary, feel free to pick her up. I did because she is a Daredevil villain, and you know how I have a thing for Daredevil characters. But overall, I love the way this figure came out, and she is essential to building your monster Venom, seeing as how she does come with the left leg. She is available at retail right now. I have seen her at Target and Walmart. I was lucky enough to pick up my Typhoid Mary as well as the rest of the Marvel Legends Monster Venom wave from my local comic book store, so huge shout out to Black Sheep Comics for getting this out to me so I could review it for you guys. Again, if you're a Daredevil fan or just a completist like me, you're going to want to have Typhoid Mary here in your collection. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other Marvel Legend videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it fits in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.